Hey guys, this is Chris, Tabletop Sports Delaware, and I thought I would do a little more shorter and refined videos regarding Star Wars customizable card game. And this is going to be video one of this series, and we are going to go over the cards a little more in depth. So you can, if your interest is in the cards, all you have to watch is this video. The cards are two sides: dark side player, light side player. The dark side will have the Imperial logo, and the light side will have the Rebel logo. And that is the back of each kind of card, and you will see the dark side players will have darker cards, solid colors, and the light side player will have mottled with the color on the card like that. Yeah, basic things on all your cards. You're going to have a logo that's going to identify what kind of card it is, the name of the card, the destiny number. You'll have some lore and illustration. You'll have your game text down here. For characters and for weapons and vehicles, you will have a power rating. For characters, you will have an ability rating. Anytime it refers to these are what you're going to look at: power and ability. This is the deploy cost, and this is the forfeit cost for this card. And that is an Imperial character. This, of course, is a Rebel character. And you can see it's different. Anytime there is a dot or dots next to the name of a card, it is a restricted card, which means you can only have that many of this card on the table at one time. You can have as many as you like in your hand. The logo, the name, the destiny number if it's flipped for weapons or battle destiny or any other destiny, lore, photograph, power, ability, and it'll have force attunement here, whether they're attuned to the force, whether they're sensitive to the force, whether they're a Jedi Knight, whether they're a Jedi Master. You will see some logos here. The blue is going to indicate that this is a warrior, and certain things can only be given to a warrior. He would be able to accept it. And I didn't think to do it, but there is also one that allows someone to pilot a ship, such as... Forgot about that little logo. I wanted to show this one right here, Rebel Pilot. He's got a yellow field with the picture of a Rebel pilot in the field. That means that he can, this character or any character that has this icon can pilot a ship. Anyone who does not have this character cannot pilot a ship unless they have another card played on them that allows them to do so, such as an effect. And that is also a Rebel character. Then you have alien characters. Light side and dark side, they're always going to have the Jawa eyes to denote an alien character. Title, destiny number, lore, photograph, power, ability. Sometimes power will be an asterisk, and that will give the what the power is down in the game text down here below. Deploy cost, forfeit cost, all of them are going to have that. Droids are going to have C-3PO's eye, kind of fitting at C-3PO. Card title, it's a restricted card, only one dot, only one on the table at a time, as many in the deck as you like. Destiny number, lore, photograph, power, no ability. Droids do not have ability at all, so it's protocol droid. Game text, deploy value, forfeit value. And then we go to starships. There are capital starships, such as this Imperial class Star Destroyer. And your starships and starfighters are going to have this logo up here in the corner of the card. There's no dot. You can have as many Star Destroyers on the table as you like. Destiny, lore, image, type of ship will be right underneath it. Capital or starfighter. And then the ship's power, its armor, if it is a capital ship, or maneuver, if it is a starfighter. Its hyperspeed, which allows it to go in between systems. There are numbers on each system location, and that will say where it is in the scheme of 1 to 9. And this could move between systems that were no more than 3 apart in numeric value, say hyperspace number 4 It could travel to a 5, 6, or a 7. It could travel to a 3, 2, or a 1. It couldn't travel from a 4 to an 8 because that would be a difference of 4 and it is greater than its hyperspeed range. On all vehicles and starships, if it has a pilot logo here, that means that it has a permanent pilot aboard and you do not have to have a pilot boarded onto it. If it did not have this pilot logo, then you would have to have a pilot in order to use its power and hyperspeed. This has a permanent droid aboard. It also has a scomp link, and then you've got your game text, deploy value, forfeit value. And pretty much the same with the Starfighter. You're going to see that there's a lot of similarity with all of these cards. And then vehicles are going to have this little map grid for a logo. And you've got, of course, the title, the dot, only one on the table at a time, as many in the deck as you like. Destiny number, lore, illustration. It is a transport vehicle. Now there are some vehicles where it will say up here in the lore whether it is an enclosed vehicle, and if you're in an enclosed vehicle, someone can't shoot a weapon from it. They have to step out of the vehicle. Some characters are also going to have text. It may say up here spy, smuggler, leader, and there are other cards that affect cards that have that in the lore text. So this isn't just dressing. Here, and you've got your power. Like starfighters, you have maneuver, and here you have land speed. That is how many adjacent sites it can move, expending force. Boomity boom, and the game text, like here, it'll tell you how many passengers it can carry. All of these will tell you how many passengers they can carry, whether you can add pilots. You can add 2 vehicles, so you can have 2 vehicles docked in each one of these, and 4 TIE fighters. Permanent pilot provides ability of 1. Permanent pilot provides ability of 1. So the game text also tells you what you can do with each of those. You have 2 kinds of location cards. You have system locations and site locations. Your system locations are the planets, the systems, where the site locations build off of them, and you have different sites on each planet that you can move to and from. You're going to have force icons for each side. Red will be for the dark side player and facing the dark side player, and blue will be for the light side player. Each will have a name. It'll have 1 dot. There can only be 1 on the table at a time. Hyperspace number is 4, and for example, Tatooine's hyperspace number is 7. So that Star Destroyer could travel from Yavin to Tatooine. 4, 5, 6, 7, hyperspace of 3. Game text for each side. If you control, for each of your starships here, your total power is +1. For each starship, if you control, have presence, no opposition. We'll get to that in another video. Your location, same thing. You're going to have dark side force icons. Where the light side force icons would be, in this case, there are none. You're going to have your game text, and you're going to have that for both sides. It's got a dot, so only 1 on the board at a time. It will have indicators here. The corner of an inside room means this is an interior site, and if it was an exterior site, then it would have in this little square here a picture of a Tattoo 1 and Tattoo 2 low on the horizon on Tatooine. There are weapons cards. You have some starship weapons, you have character weapons, and you have automated weapons. Starship weapons can be deployed on starships. Tells you how much here and how to use them in the game text. Says it's a starship weapon. And of course the icon is a little pew-pew thing up here. The name, destiny, lore, illustration. Character weapons can be deployed on characters, and it tells you how much to deploy them and how much it costs to use them to target another character at a site. Again, note the pew-pew. That's the kind of card. And automated weapons. say in the case of this timer mine, it can be deployed by a droid, and then when somebody gets to the same site, that is when it may be used. So it is an automated weapon. It doesn't go off until a certain set of conditions are met, which are down here in the game text. There are devices which have this little logo right up here. Name, destiny number, lore, illustration, says it's a device, and it says how you can deploy it and what uses it has. Then there are just a couple more card types. There is the effect, which it has an effect on the game, aptly named, and it has this military map logo up here. The name, the destiny number, some lore, illustration, that it is an effect, and how to use it and what it does. In this case, deploy on any non-pilot character and give that character the pilot skill. So any character with this could be a pilot, except droids. It says in the game text what each effect does. There are also Utini effects, and these are effects that have to have a series of things in order for them to come to fruition. Deploy on a Death Star site where a stormtrooper was just lost. Target one of your characters not on the Death Star, and when that character reaches the effect, then good things happen to that character. So the character off the Death Star has to come to the Death Star, and then they get the bonuses that are down here. That is what an Utini effect does. And again, you've got the title, one dot, only one on the table, the logo for effect, destiny number. And then there are interrupt cards, and this is going to be the final type of card type we're going to cover in this video. And they're going to have this orange logo up here, kind of like a marbleized logo perhaps. And it'll have the name, it'll have destiny number, lore, illustration. There are two types of interrupts. There are used and lost interrupts. The used interrupts, simply you do what the interrupt says. You can cancel one effect or Utini effect by drawing destiny less than the ability of your highest ability character. It tells you what to do. And then you simply put this in your used pile because it's a used interrupt. If you were to play this lost interrupt, then when you did this, you would put this in your lost pile. It's a more powerful interrupt. It's going to have a greater effect. So this would go in your lost force pile. And that is going over the cards for Star Wars Customizable Card Game, the Premier Edition. And we will do a few more videos in this series, so thank you for watching. Again, guys, this is Chris, Tabletop Sports Delaware, and may the Force be with you.